Oh my gosh, what's up everybody? Welcome to today's video. I don't even know where to even start. I've had this whole intro planned out. It's going to go into a deep conversation with you guys, and I lost it all. Everything went out of my head. So outside sources are kind of stressing me out right now. I understand that life happens. We all have stressful environments in our life at some point we have to work through. That's okay, because today's video is one of my favorites and I'm going to do probably. I have two new ones I'm working on. This one is going to entail how to lean bulk without putting too much fat. A lot of people think that bulking is like an engagement of, hey, I can eat whatever the hell I want, no regrets, no remorse. That is the most false thing I've ever heard in my life. You literally have to watch what you eat still. Your body will transition into this bag of shit if you allow it to. My next video I'm gonna do next weekend, which is crazy. I'm already looking forward to next weekend's video, but is the one about my hair. I've been able to bring my hair back from almost extinction, and I mean, I had pictures to prove it. It's really not as good as it once was, obviously, but it's as good as it's probably gonna get. I think it's a country song. I believe so. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. But anyways, I think we all just go ahead and roll the cinematic scene, because it would not be a video of mine if it didn't have some kind of cinematic scene. So let's roll it. As you guys just saw, we throw a little concoction together. This stuff is really good. I don't know what's in it. I could probably break it down and try to understand it for you guys and tell you. But all I know is my boy Reg, he works at a supplement store. He's from North Carolina. I don't want to talk too much about his personal life, but he suggests I get this BPN. It's called In Focus Cognitive Enhancer. Tunnel vision. I love it. It's got energy, thermogenesis, focus, blue snow cone, really good flavor. If you guys look for a good pick me up that's kind of got clean energy, you don't really crash off of this stuff. No, I'm not sponsored. I just like to give good reviews of products that actually work. Speaking of reviews, we're going to do one of Seth Yorse's products, Axe and Sledge. It's coming soon. I'm almost done with the whole stack I bought from him. My boy recommended I do a whole month before I give a review on it. I agree with his advice. I think if you do a whole month of this product, it'll give you a good review. It needs to be based off of usage. You can't give a review off a week of don't take something, unless it's like narcotics or something maybe, but that's a whole different subject. Just crisp. It could be a placebo effect, but the stuff does give me laser focus. I don't know what's in it. I really need to break it down. Maybe we'll do that during this video. As I said, this video is going to cover how to lean bulk. Basically, a lean bulk to me is where you put on as much muscle mass as you can with minimal fat gains. The idea behind a bulk is put on muscle, not just weight. Now, if the idea is put on weight, a lot of people kind of misconceive that and they think that bulk is put on weight. If they go from 220 to 250 in a matter of 12 weeks, which is not possible to do natural, just so y'all know. They think that that's like bulking. Oh, I'm putting on all this size. Cool. Personally, I used to do this bulk stage myself quite often. I would go from 225 pounds of good lean body mass with a 12% body fat, and I will beef up to a 245, 250 and just be ballooned up. I got images actually, I'll show them right here. And you can just see the difference in my physique. I was just ballooned. I mean, literally ballooned up. That was partially some of the supplements I was taking as well, and my diet was just fucking trash. The biggest thing with lean bulking, or even bulking period, people get the misconception that they can eat whatever they want. You still have to eat in a caloric deficit to a certain extent. You still have to macro out your food. You still have to calculate your food. You have to break down how many calories you eat, your proteins, fats, all that stuff. Everything has to be broken down. Now, I'm a big advocate of calories in, calories out. I just don't like to tell people that that's what they should do. Ultimately, you have to do what's best for you. I'm not a fitness coach. I'm not a doctor. I don't know the best solution for you guys. But my best advice I can give you through this video is just literally do what works best for you. Use your mirror as a guideline. Use it as the judge. If you think you're seeing too much flubber in the midsection or too much excess water or something, dial it back a little bit. Dial the carbs down, dial the calories. Basically, what I want to cover in this video is I can sit and talk all day long about all this, but I want to really sit down and give you guys in depth of what scientific studies have shown, what the research has shown us is possible to do legitly and not legitly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go downstairs, we're gonna get on my computer, it's gonna have my gaming set up. I know some people aren't really into that, but this is the best way I can do this to really show you guys everything and give you guys all the information that I absorbed through the years. So let's go down there and check it out. What's up, everybody? This is my little mini office, I call it. It's not quite complete yet, but this works for my stream with my unfinished basement. In the future, we're going to literally bust this out, make a huge office. It's going to have everything in it. It's going to be dope. But without further ado, let's get on with the video here. So we are talking about lean mass bulking, how to put on lean quality muscle mass without gaining so much fat. Because obviously there's two different forms of bulking. There is sloppy bulking and clean bulking. You obviously want to go with clean bulking. It's literally the easiest route. It's much more sustainable, and it's literally just safe. What I mean by safer is like, it's not really dangerous to bulk in a bad way. It's just, overeating is definitely something that people kind of often get sometimes. Eating disorders can be, eat enough food or you eat too much food, obviously. And then that's where obesity comes into play. That's a whole bunch of more scientific information than what I actually know about. So this great article here by JCD Fitness is one of the best articles I've had the pleasure of reading. It's literally breaks down every single part of this bulking. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna break down each part today, describe and talk about and discuss. And then we'll just kind of summarize and go from there. But again, I gotta give credit to jcdfitness.com/guys/bulking. If you want to check it out, I will copy the link down below in the description. You guys can check it out. So let's get into it. So as you see here, the science of bulking. Bulking is a term that has been well known in the bodybuilding circles since they first began decades ago. Everyone that knows kind of has a fundamental idea or like the basic knowledge of bodybuilding or lifting, fitness, training, all that good stuff. They obviously know that there's bulking cutting. We always hear people talk about bulking. Oh, I'm eating this huge pizza because I'm bulking, or I'm eating these 6 fucking apple pies because I'm bulking. The truth is, they're just making excuses to eat like shit because bulking does not entail all this sloppy food or these bad foods. My definition of bulking is you eat clean food still. You eat in a caloric surplus of 100 to 500 calories. That's it. That's all you need to do. That's a bulk for you. Now, a lot of people have the misconception that if you want to bulk, you got to eat 7,000 calories. Now, unless you're Brian Shaw or the Mountain or whatever his name is, you're not going to be putting down them kind of calories without some kind of negative side effect, which is weight gain, fatness. You're going to put on fat in different areas you didn't know about. You're literally going to have a hard time breathing. You're going to get weaker as well. When you bulk and you try to put on muscle and you put on more fat than muscle, you become heavier. Your body is not used to that. You have to adapt to it. So you become weaker. Here we go. We got the difference between bulking and cutting. So basically the difference, I just kind of described it. Bulking is where you eat in a caloric surplus and you make sure you're eating calories, clean calories, at a higher maintenance. So if your maintenance is 2,600 calories, you would eat anywhere from 2,700 to 3,200 calories, give or take what you're doing, what your cardio is, what your daily activity levels are, all that good stuff. Do you train hard enough to eat those calories? That all comes into play. Next is the cutting phase. Most of you people know that the cutting phase is where you basically cut. You cut your calories down, you eat in a caloric deficit. If you're not eating less calories than what your body needs, you won't burn any fat. It's just that simple. You have to be the caloric deficit to burn weight. Now this right here, I truly like this right here. This is basically how the body builds more muscle. This is news to me as well. I kind of always understood it, but this really puts it into a dumb it down form for me. Muscle gain simplified, the signal, heavy, intense, consistent weight training. If you're doing that, you get the signal, right? The response, muscle protein synthesis, body repairs the damaged muscles, equal muscle growth. Now we all know that the body actually builds muscle after the workout, when it's sleeping, when it's resting, when you're eating, nutrition's repairing it, all that good stuff. You ever had the muscle delay soreness, MDS is what we refer to it as? That's your body repairing. It's healing, it's recouping, it's literally growing. This is basically breaking down the muscle tension. Heavy strength training, heavy is relative to what is challenging for you. I go so I can have an excuse to eat more food. I have an excuse so I can eat pizza on the weekend and popcorn candy with my girlfriend. These are all legit why I go. That and I like to look good, I like to feel good. If you feel good, you look good, you feel good. That all goes in hand. Muscle soreness days after your training is usually indicative of the muscle damage, also known as delayed onset muscle soreness. Boom! I forgot to delay it earlier, but it's basically delayed onset muscle soreness. This is a result of micro tears in the muscle tissues, a good thing, mind you. Mostly comes from the eccentric portion of a movement flowering of the weight on a leg extension or bicep curl. So try to keep your eccentric slow and controlled during your high reps. The response, this is a big one right here. Again, there's a lot in this article, so we're going to kind of cover the fundamentals that I think are important. The response is definitely important. After you've gone through the hard training, your body will repair itself using the food you ate. Protein being a key micronutrient. Everyone knows that protein is your key supplement, right? Because protein is the fundamentals of building muscle. So you need protein, the body needs it. I know a lot of people, I've read other articles that speak that you don't need it. I've done all kinds of different diets. I've done keto, I've done vegan, I've done like low meat diets, which was like where I was eating 100 grams of protein a day and incorporating more carbs, more fats. Ultimately, the best I've ever felt was when my protein was higher, when I eat like anywhere from 250 grams to up to 280 grams of protein. You have to incorporate protein. Simple as that. No matter how you get it in, it's got to be in your diet, or else you're not going to build muscle. It's that simple. If you're likely training 3-4 days per week, this means 2 days after your workouts, your body is actively repairing the muscle damage that occurred during training. What I said earlier, usually the second day is when the DOMS kicks in. This is why eating more than the standard RDA, recommended daily allowance, that's a new one for me,
It's crucial for helping your muscles repair and grow from your hard workouts. So basically, if you're eating the calories that you're allowed and what your program is telling you to, you will heal, you will grow muscle, and you will repair. For bulking here, they're recommending that you do 0.8 to 1 gram. That's actually a really, really good universal number. Me personally, I do about 1 gram or 1.2 grams. Obviously, I've been up to 280 pounds, 280 grams of protein per day. It's a lot of protein. It's expensive, but I've done it, and that was on a cut. So on a bulk, I'd probably go higher if I want to. Here's a big one. What to know about weight gain? Bulking is the act of gaining weight on purpose in the name of adding more muscle to your body. If no one wants to get fat and get out of shape, obviously we don't. The idea here is we're working out to get in shape and to get in bigger physical shape. And ultimately, you have to sacrifice a little bit of this, this leanness, a little bit, not much. You just have to kind of take the process for what it is. You have to bulk slowly. Everybody wants to gain weight in 12 weeks and say, oh, I'm bulking for 12 weeks. Instead of doing like a 6 month or a year bulk, they literally want to go from cut to bulk. And it's just really, really hard to bring your body fat down and then back up. Basically here, they cover the 3 essential rules. Start your bulk from a relatively lean state. Obviously, you want to be as lean as you possibly can when you start this bulk because you want to make sure that you're not putting on that fat that we're discussing here. You're going to gain some fat during your bulk phase. That's just normal. It's just normal. It's going to happen. There's no way to get over it. So take a deep breath like this says and just realize that you will gain fat as it's just part of the process, as I've mentioned before. The good news, you can always lose it later. Losing fat is easy. Building muscle is much harder in comparison. I have to agree with that statement 100%. It's much easier to lose fat than what it is to gain muscle. And here they go through like a basic of what you should be at. I've only been at 7% twice in my life. That was when I did 2 bodybuilding shows. I have pictures to prove it. 10 to 12 is probably what I walk around at when I'm lean from the beach. This is what I'm kind of at right now. Okay, this is a good weight right here. This right here, the 14 to 15 is ideally where I kind of stand at when I bulk. Now, when you start to pour over into a nasty bulk, you start to pour over into this 20, 22%. That's when you realize, okay, it's time to dial back a little bit. This one is a great part of the article. Why you should avoid rapid weight gain when bulking. Getting fat sucks. It's hard. It's not hard to get fat. It's hard to lose fat. So ideally here, we want to make sure that we keep the fat to a minimum once again. The biggest tip right here, this is the biggest tip I've learned this past year in 2021. Track your intake. No matter what you do, track your intake. Make sure if you're cutting, you're tracking your food. If you're bulking, you're tracking your food. If you eat like shit, track your food. You still need to know what you're intaking on a day you eat like shit. You just have to macro it out so you can have an idea what your intake is. And that way, when you do kind of splurge a little bit, you can have an idea where to cut back and where to incorporate more of. Why gain too fat is a massive problem. There's just so many reasons. We've already covered a couple, but let's go ahead and go through here. More fat gainers, lower insulin sensitivity. This is a big one. Insulin is needed in order to transport nutrients from the food we eat into our cells. If our insulin does not increase regularly after meals, we won't get the necessary nutrients and we die. Simple as that. Since insulin is the hormone that shuttles that broken down food for energy in the cells, we want it to be working properly. And the harder we get, the less sensitive our bodies are to the hormone. So therefore, the bigger we get, the more fat we put on, the less our body utilizes the nutrients we eat daily. High body fat may affect muscle protein synthesis. A high level of body fat, anything above 20% for men, along with poor insulin sensitivity seems to cause muscle breakdown. If you have a high amount of body fat currently, your focus should be on losing that fat first before you even think about bulking. This is very, very good. I couldn't agree with this even more. If you want to bulk, you literally have to make sure that your body's in like prime caliber state. So you want to be in a relatively lean area to where you're like anywhere between, I would say 10% to no higher than 15% body fat. And if you're in that window and you're feeling good about yourself and you can incorporate these extra calories and maybe up your cardio a little bit to help burn off a little bit more calories, the excess bullshit, then I highly suggest you do it. A lot of people struggle with that because they're like, well, I'm already putting on size, so I might as well just go ahead and stick with this bulk and eat and put on the excess fat and deal with it. No, you're only creating more work for yourself in the future. Why a caloric surplus is necessary. Now, this is one that I'm really digging as well. There's a lot of good points in this article. Like I said, guys, the link's below. Read it, give it a good read, a good skim. Very good. Every single day, your body uses energy to move, talk, read, think, and exercise. Obviously, any kind of movement, any kind of extra curriculum is movement, which helps burn body fat. The food you eat goes toward replacing energy you expend during those activities. Obviously, I think we all know that. As a result, if you're wanting to bulk up and build muscle, you have to create an excess of available energy by eating more calories. So that's why surplus is so important. You have to make sure that you're eating these calories so the body has more calories to store the energy you're expending. How to determine your caloric surplus. All right, this is basically what you guys are here for, I'm pretty sure. If you burn 2,000 calories per day and you eat 2,500 calories, you'll gain weight. If you eat less than 2,000 calories, then you'll lose weight. Eat 2,000 calories per day, you guessed it, you'll maintain your weight. Obviously, that's what your maintenance is. You will retain the weight that you're currently at. You won't gain weight, you won't lose weight. First of all, you must know your individual maintenance calories. We discussed it already. Find out what your maintenance is. Go from there up at 100 to 500 calories, no more than that. You can determine that by using a calorie intake calculator. There's tons of apps online. You can go to your Apple Store, whatever. You can find these apps and it will help you out. There's videos on YouTube. Ideally, you want to consume anywhere from 200 to 400 calories above maintenance. I don't know everything, but I know some shit. Basically, he's suggesting 200, 400, which is a really good number as well. I suggest 100 to 500 tops. That's, again, 500 is tops if you're a hard gainer. If you're struggling to gain the weight, 500 if you're a hard gainer. 100 if you are an easy gainer, because 100 calories is more than what people actually think. 100 calories each day, that's 700 calories a week. Therefore, you're putting on 1,400, 2,800 more calories a month. You're definitely gonna put some weight on right there. Right there's like 1.8 pounds right there. Slow, steady gains is the way to go. And here it is. Here is the biggest one that we've been waiting for. How to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. While it's possible to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, it doesn't happen to everyone. True, it doesn't. Most people who experience this are typically beginners who haven't worked out in the past, or people who's exercised before but have taken some time off, aka newbie gains. In other words, if you're not brand new to weight training and just dieting for fat loss, this is a huge trap to fall into. Building muscle for beginners is incredibly easy compared to the experienced lifter. And many times, a beginner can be on a fat loss diet and still build muscle because of how easy their body will build muscle from the weight training signal alone. So therefore, they never worked out, they're eating clean, or they've already eaten clean, and they're beginning to work out, their body's going to respond different than someone who's already been working out. So therefore, it's called, it refers all back to the newbie game. But for everyone else who has at least 1 year of training experience, trying to lose fat and build muscle at the same time is a huge waste of time that will leave you with every little muscle gain. I can't read this. That will leave you with very little muscle gain and hardly any noticeable fat loss. So basically, again, guys, eat a caloric surplus, make sure that you're training hard. It all just falls in the line right there. You know, you just got to make sure that you're building muscle, not just a bunch of fat, flubber. It's easy to gain that extra fat and think you're doing the right thing because your shirts are getting a little tighter. Truth be told, if you lose vascularity or if you're getting weaker on your pull-ups or push-ups, that's a sign that you're putting on too much fat. That's what I kind of use as the judge mirror for me. Weight training is optional to build muscle and bulking. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So I read through this earlier and I was like, man, I'm not sure if I agree with this, but here we'll touch on it real quick. So basically what I'll get from this is weight training is optional, which means you can still work out. You have to train. You still have to work out. He's not saying don't work out. He's just saying you don't have to use weight training. You can use body workouts and stuff like that. Maybe he's thinking bands and all that extra stuff. But personally, if you're bulking, you want the extra weight for the overload. I agree 100% on that. Weight gain is expectations, another good topic. Pros would gain 5 pounds of muscle in a year on good sauce, good top nutrition, top training coaches, top strength training coaches. I mean, top of the line, equipment and top of the line advice. So think about that. If we're just average Joe person, you're trying to put on anywhere from, ideally you want to put about 10 pounds and then basically go from there and hope that you put on 2 pounds of muscle in a year's time. That's probably more realistic. All right, lastly though here, how much weight should you ideally gain? There are 2 lines of thoughts here. Gain weight quickly and worry about dieting it off later. I don't advocate that for anybody. I think that's the worst advice anybody can give. A lot of people actually give that advice to people. They're like, hey, just gain the weight, eat as much as you can, worry about losing the fat later. This only should be utilized to people who are like 150 pounds and, just a beanpole corn stalk walking around. Those people should eat as much food as they can, or your newbies who are just beginning to work out. Those type of people should definitely eat as much as they can get in. Eat any food you can touch, get as big as you can, and then we'll worry about cutting you down later. Because basically what's happening is you're new to it all, you're learning it all, you're going to train, your training's going to get better, and then when we do put you into a caloric deficit, you're going to still be building muscle. So ideally, you should never just eat whatever you want because it's just not going to work out in your favor. You're going to get into a eating disorder where you're eating bullshit all the time and you're justifying it with, hey, I'm bulking, it's okay, I'll cut the weight later. That's the bullshit mindset to have. It just does not go well with weight training or dieting or fitness lifestyle. Here's one thing that I do want to cover. Clean bulk versus dirty bulk. We already kind of discussed this a little bit, but basically don't get stuck in the realm of eating clean and then, I'm going to just eat bad this week, I'll eat clean next week. Or if you're going to kind of do this, the best advice I can give you is eat clean all week long, right? Have yourself a one day where you eat kind of bullshit. I do that now as it is. I try to make sure that I'm hitting my goals every single day when I eat good. Then it come like Saturday or Sunday, we decide to have a pizza, some candy popcorn, maybe throw in a sweet cake or there, or, a donut or something. And I go back on the grind the next day and have my spinach, eggs, and berries for breakfast. You have to make sure that you're sticking to a plan, that you have a routine, make sure that all this is going in line. So there's that, guys. I hope that this kind of covers some good stuff for you guys. Again, this is a great article. I would love to, I would love for you guys to skim it. If you're reading, if you're watching this video, go ahead and go through it. He discusses so much more in it. I just didn't want to make this video any longer than what it already was. Because it's quite a doozy. I didn't mean for it to be this long. I really wanted something that has some informative information in it that had better wording than what I could put into words. Because I could sit and kind of explain to you guys all day long what I go through, how I diet, how I bulk, and it's a lot of I in there. But I ideally wanted to give you guys someone else's perspective on it. And again, this was a great article. I read through 3 articles, and this was the one that really caught my eye. He broke it down really good. So again, I'm going to link this into the description below, and you guys can give it a read yourself. It's literally going almost 1 o'clock. I'm going to go spend some time with the kiddos right now, and then we'll close this video out in a little bit with you guys. So we'll check back with you upstairs.
Oh my gosh! That was a lot to intake. There's a lot of information to process. So if you guys are like borderline just fogged up here right now, I totally agree with you. So it's a lot to intake. I knew a lot of information, I just didn't know how to word it. So I thought if I read this article and it explains things, I could just read it to you guys and show it to you, share it with you, it would be more informative. So hopefully it was an informative video for you. I really hope that, have kids, they said. I really hope this was an informative video for you guys. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, please comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the video. Hopefully you guys like this video. It's kind of like a vlog mix type thing. I don't know what to call it. So vlog setup, office setup, question mark. One of those two. But today is day 2 of the fair week that goes on here in Fairfield County. It's a Fairfield County fair. They have food, rides. I'm gonna take the kids, let them have some rides, go play some prize games. Old dad here's gonna show them how you play the games and win some prizes. I'm somewhat of a legend around here. I don't ever leave the fair without a prize. I win them. I win all the time. Watch me lose today because I said that. Karma's real. Anyways, guys, we're going to end the video here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope you guys enjoy the weekend. When you guys see this video, it'll be coming up on like a Thursday or Friday. But I really am enjoying these videos again. I really am enjoying making this content, getting into it more, getting out of my comfort zone, trying to do more with every platform on it. Twitch has been going real smooth. I'm trying to upscale myself on my TikTok. I'm trying to grow that as well. If you guys follow TikToks, come check out your boy. Here's a link to it. Down in the description is all my social media links. Come follow me on those as well. If you guys would do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. So with that said, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Peace.